Today I'm going to be making a totally random video about a scam that I've just become aware of that's apparently been around for a few years, and another couple of scams I'm going to mention at the end of the video. But the other day I received a fake scam DVLA letter. Who even knew it was a thing? I just wanted to make this video to make people aware of this because there's so many scams about and there's so many people who fall for these scams. And sometimes I'll be honest, I think, who would fall for that? You'd have to be an idiot. But it happens. Do you know what I mean? It does happen to people. So I had got this letter from the DVLA, and this is the envelope that it came in. And I think you'll agree, it just looks like a normal kind of letter that you would get something like that in. And I did find it a bit strange that I would receive this letter, however, I opened it nonetheless. So I'm just going to cover my address here, but this is what the letter looks like, and it's on the back as well. So obviously I'll give you a close up here. But basically when I opened this, the first thing that I noticed was the top little symbol here. It's not crystal clear. It looks as if it's been scanned, or it looks as if it's been photocopied. There was just something about it that it's just not as crisp as what it should be. The next thing that I noticed was the date, right? It says the 6th of March 2022. Newsflash, this is 2023, right? So I was like, this is a bit strange. This is very unusual. Now, the other thing that made me think that this might be a scam is the fact that I don't even have a driver's license. I've never had a driver's license. I had a provisional and it expired like 10 years ago, right? So obviously I'm like, I don't need a new driver's license. I don't need to update anything. It's telling me I'm going to need to pay a fine if I don't bloody well fill this thing out. So then it says apply online, and it gives you the website to renew your driver's license, right? And have your debit card details ready. So I was just like, this is obviously a scam, right? So I had posted it online, and somebody had said this scam's been going about for a few years now, and they usually spell license wrong, which I wouldn't have noticed because I'm dyslexic, right? But basically they says they normally spell it the American way, and obviously it wouldn't be spelled like that if it was the UK. However, I checked mine and it is actually spelled the UK way. So I had told them that in the comments, and they says, oh, they've obviously realised that they're making spelling mistakes or whatever, but they haven't updated their date because they're still telling me it's 2022. So they're obviously not the brightest people. However, I will give them credit, right? I mean, it does look reasonably real. When I took this into work as well, I showed it to people in work, and somebody says to me that they've actually received one of these letters in real life, and they said that it's normally green. So you can let me know in the comments if that's true. So all I can really say about this is if you do have a driver's license and you receive one of these letters, just look at your driver's license and see if it is expired. With that being said, as I say with all letters and emails and stuff that you get, obviously you can't click the link on this letter, you need to type it in. But if that was me, I would just go online and I would look up the DVLA website. I wouldn't put that exact link in, and I wouldn't phone that phone number. I would look up the DVLA phone number. Now, I'm mega cautious when it comes to things like this, and there's so many people who will just phone a phone number on a letter or on an email or click a link, which is something that I genuinely just don't understand, right? But apparently there's letters like this going about as well for TV licenses. Once again, never type in the exact link. Never phone the exact number. You're better off to just look it up online and phone the number that you get from there. I have got friends who have been scammed. Many friends, right? And I've had friends say, oh, I'm due a tax rebate. They sent me an email, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, HMRC don't send you emails. Do you know what I mean? That's not how it works. HMRC will send you a letter. And if they do send you a letter, once again, don't phone the number on the letter. Actually look it up. Right, see, unless it's like a doctor's letter or a hospital letter or something like that, and it doesn't require you to put in any bank details or give any payment details or anything, then okay, obviously phone it, right? But That's only if it's not involving money. To me, anything that involves money, anything at all. Like I had a friend who ordered free samples of some really expensive face cream, and then they were getting money took out their bank every 2 weeks, and that was because they got this free face cream and they paid for postage, and then after that they were getting the stuff sent out. I mean, they were sending stuff out, but it was obviously a subscription, and they were taking like £200 every 2 weeks out their bank or something. It's so important to just pay attention to what you're buying, what you're clicking on. If you're putting your card details in for anything, pay attention. Like I read the small print, and I know that not everybody reads the small print, but it's just so important. There's so many times where it'll just say, "Oh, click the link." Like one time, I did click a link to on Instagram to download an app, and then I ended up getting adverts on my phone. Like not when I was online. Like see when I was actually just on my home screen on my phone with the WhatsApp icons and everything, and adverts were coming on, and I was like, "Crap, I've done something." But luckily, I managed to go through my apps, and I recognised one that I didn't remember installing, and it wasn't something that I thought I would put on my phone. So I managed to get rid of it myself. Luckily, there's so many people out there who don't know the icons on their phone, and they'd have been stuffed, honestly. So another thing that I seen lately that was a scam was it was a TikTok video, which I wish I had saved, but I hadn't saved it, and it was the bank phoning you. So they've now got people phoning you from your bank, and it'll actually come up the number that's on the back of the bank card. So if you're with like RBS, and on the back of your bank card it's got the RBS customer service number, it comes up that on your phone. I don't know if that's the same with text, right? But I know now that they can phone you and that number can come up. So if your bank phones you and it's coming up with the bank number, and they say, "Oh, this has happened, like suspicious activity or whatever," just say, "That's fine, I'll go into the branch or I'll just phone it. I'll just phone it now." And they recommend that you actually hang up and then phone from a different phone. So it's just crazy. It's crazy what people can do. I seen something about like chargers that you can buy, and like cheap chargers, like if it's not a real iPhone charger, and then they can control your phone when it's plugged in. And they're thinking that in future it'll actually be able to take like information and stuff off your phone. That was wild to me. Absolutely wild. Like how many times have you bought just a cheap charger on eBay or whatever? No more. Never again. I'll not be doing that. The only time I'll ever buy a cheaper charger is if it's like in a shop, like I don't know, Comet, TK Maxx or whatever. I'm not going to go onto eBay and buy one for £1 and hope for the best, because it's so crazy what these scammers can do. My phone rings every single day, and I constantly get calls from Carphone Warehouse or whatever other phone shop saying, "Oh, I can see you're due an upgrade," or whatever. And it's like, all right, what phone am I on then? What contract am I on? Do you know what I mean? Like they don't know. So now if they phone me and it's for a phone shop, I very rarely answer my phone if I don't know the number. But if it's from a phone shop or whatever, I just hang up. I'm just like, I can't be bothered. There's no point in going through this. I've been through it a million times. They're just going to keep phoning, right? Another thing that's been happening to me and a friend lately is very strange, but we've been getting phone calls from a number that's exactly the same as our phone number, but the last digit or the second last digit is different. And it's so weird. It's as if it's your own phone that's phoning you with one digit different. Now, I've never answered these phone calls to find out what they are. If anybody's ever noticed this and they've answered, please let me know in the comments what it is. But it's too dodgy. Like, I just block it straight away. There's so many scams, it's hard to keep up. Like, not that long ago, they were selling these phones that were like supposed to be like the replacement of the new Samsung phone, and it turned out that it was the new Samsung phone, but they had just put a different cover over it. Like they had put like a plastic lamination over it to make it look like a different phone, but it was actually like stolen property, and then they were like covering them and selling them. So these things happen all the time, you know. I know that everybody likes to try and get a bargain, but sometimes you've really got to look into things. I mean, you don't want to be walking about with a stolen phone. The next thing you know, you go to phone somebody and it's cut off. One of my friends recently got a scam letter from a bank, and it was from the bank that they're with, right? So it was talking about like strange activity on their account or whatever. And I was with them at the time, and we looked at the letter, and we were both like, this is a scam, right? There's no way that they would send you this in a letter. They would have phoned you or emailed you or something and asked you to go in if it was really that bad, right? They're not going to send this in a letter. But the problem is she could just go to the branch, right? I don't have a branch for my bank where I live. So for me, it's difficult. If somebody else around here was with the same branch as me, they would maybe go, oh, I better phone them. I better phone this number. I better go into this link or whatever, because it's an inconvenience. And for some people, it's impossible to get to a branch that's not even in their same town or the town next to them. So it's really hard, but just try and think to yourself, if this was real, would this person be sending me a letter? Do you know what I mean? Like HMRC send you letters, they don't send you emails. Some companies will send you emails, they don't send you letters. Like, for example, if you've got online banking, they can send you an email to say log into your online banking and you'll have a message. Like with my branch, I can go on and I get messages, and instead of me getting a letter through the door telling me stuff, it'll be on my actual app. Do you know what I mean? So just try and think, because the thought of people getting scammed over something as ridiculous as this. Obviously, I don't have a driver's license. They don't know this, right? But the address on here is my address. It's my name. Everything, like, if you weren't really thinking, you could maybe be caught out by this. Same with a TV licence, same with possibly a phone bill. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what fake letters are going around. If you've had any other ones, you can let me know in the comments. But anyway, this was a totally random video and I hope you find it helpful. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Bye!